Welcome back. We're now discussing point number 3 in the secrets of the admissions process. Not all subjects are created equal. Now, there are several ways in which I mean this. There's the obvious way. Math carries more weight than basket weaving. Unless, of course, you intend to major in basket weaving, in which case it's worth taking the course over math. But for the most part, colleges prefer to see what they refer to as solids on student transcripts. Solids tend to be the quote-unquote academic courses, the histories, the English, the required courses, for example, math, some hard sciences, and foreign languages. Now, that doesn't mean that students don't have much choice, but when it comes to deciding which courses to take, careful consideration must be made to what message those courses are conveying to the colleges to which you're applying. If, for example, you're interested in studying medicine or being pre-med in college, and you only took freshman year bio, colleges are going to wonder why you're declaring pre-med as a potential major, as a potential field of study, I should say, when in fact you haven't done any real bio. They would like to see something like AP Bio. So your course selection obviously conveys a message. It's important to think about the message that is conveyed before you select certain classes. Now, in terms of electives, many students, in fact the majority of students, come to me and say, I'm going to study marine bio or astronomy. First question is why? The answer immediately is because they're easy. Marine bio is field trips to the beach, while astronomy is staring at the stars. And students assume that this is going to be an easy class. The truth of the matter is, they're not necessarily easy classes. And if students see those classes as easy, what do you think colleges think of those courses? That's right, they think exactly the same way. Therefore, in terms of electives, we recommend that you take courses, again, that demonstrate an interest in a specific area or an ability, specifically in terms of critical thinking. A good example is forensics. People are surprised when I say that forensics is a good example of the type of elective that look good to colleges. Forensics implies thinking on the spot, providing you with evidence and clues. You have to make deductions and, if possible, solve a crime based on the information presented to you. That implies critical reasoning skills. That's why debate clubs are also a good idea. A question is thrown at you in a public forum, and you must defend your argument in front of this public forum. Again, important points worth considering. Now, I also received the question many times, very often, is it better to take an AP class and do okay, or is it better to take a regular class and do very well? And if you take into consideration the point that I made earlier in the fact that colleges look at grade trend and rank, I mentioned that colleges recalculate your GPA themselves. They take the raw, unweighted data and they recalculate your GPA applying weight themselves. Specifically for an honors course, they had a half a point on a 4.0 scale. And for AP courses, they had a full point on a 4.0 scale. So the answer becomes, obviously, it depends. If you're going to fail the AP course, we'll take the regular level class. But if you're going to get a 3.5 in an AP course, that now goes into your GPA as a 4.5 with the extra point added to weigh for the AP. If you take the regular class and you get a 4.0, that goes in as a 4.0 on your transcript into your GPA calculation. Therefore, numerically, it is worth taking a shot at AP courses you think you can do fairly well in or okay in, as long as you get or pass a certain threshold. Now, the way in which I actually mean that not all subjects are created equal is somewhat unrelated to what I was just discussing. What I actually mean is colleges, just like, I should say, academic departments, just like athletic departments, are always being monitored for success. Specifically, how many students are you graduating? An athletic team, or I should say an athletic coach, will be given a certain number of spots to recruit for his team. The number of spots is equal to the number of seniors that have graduated who were on the team the year before. So if 4 seniors graduated that year, well, the following year they have 4 spaces to fill. That's why coaches are given spots to fill, because they need to keep the teams at a high level. Academic departments are not very different. It's not as overt as it is for sports, but you can almost think of it as academic recruiting. What I mean is, certain departments, obviously, unfortunately, maybe the less reputable departments within certain schools, or at least the less popular departments, lose seniors every year, and sometimes they don't have any freshmen or sophomores behind who have declared that major. So the department is now in jeopardy because there are no students with a declared major. So, as an applicant, you can actually make yourself more attractive to a specific school by stacking your course load toward a department that might be lacking in your top school. For example, take a school with an economics department, and all of a sudden they have a loss of 10 students, and only 5 of them have declared an economics major behind. Now the college is going to be looking to find 5 more economics majors to fill those spots. So they'll be more likely or more inclined to accept students who would have a strength in economics than students who would not. Now, this information is not easy to come by. My recommendation is to contact the individual departments at the schools you're interested in and ask them how many seniors have graduated and how many spots are there to fill. Chances are they'll actually provide you with an honest answer, and it might help you decide the difference of whether or not to take AP Physics versus AP Chemistry. Likewise, you'll be contacting the school, and now they'll know that you're interested in school. So 2 birds with